As we move into the 2021 school year, we are going to move forward with a slightly different way of planning, not just because of the changes that COVID has brought in the schedule, but because this way of planning will help us be more focused and think through activities that are highly aligned to the performance expectations, which are the standards in the NGSS. So what we're going to do right now is just kind of model together and use one unit to model how we are going to do this new type of planning. So if you go to the KIPP STE website, scroll down to grade 4, and we're going to do the energy conversions unit, which is the first unit for grade 4 this school year. First thing you want to do is click on all resources. When you click on all resources, it'll take you to a Google Drive that has a bunch of different folders. Click on the unit internalization folder first. In the unit internalization folder, if you want to, you can kind of read the background information. You can watch the internalization video just to kind of get yourself acquainted with the background if this is content knowledge that you're not very familiar with or you need a refresher. So you can do that if you need to. Once you've done that though, what you want to go to is the unit plan document, and you want to scroll down all the way to where it says performance expectations. What the performance expectations are say that by the end of this unit, this is what students should be able to do. And so the first step in this kind of new way of planning is looking at these performance expectations, reading them, and then summarizing them in your own words. So go ahead and read through these performance expectations and then summarize them in your own words, either on a sheet of paper, a chart paper, or somewhere on your computer. So, as you can see, I've gone ahead and summarized the performance expectations in my own words. And the really good thing about doing this step is that it gets you to kind of see, like, what are the key things that kids need to take away, right? It's that energy can be converted from one type to another. It can be transferred, that speed and energy are related, and that energy comes from our environment, and that, the way we get energy from our environment affects our environment. Those are like the key things, right? And the performance expectations also tell us what we don't need to be teaching kids, right? So nowhere does it say we need to teach kids about gravitational energy, right? That is not part of what the standard says for fourth graders. And so it is very important that at the beginning of planning, you do this step. Because this is the step that's just going to let you know, okay, this is what kids need to know, and all the other stuff they don't need to know. That way, when you then look into lessons and start planning, you have that at the forefront, and you can say, okay, let's not do this lesson, or let's not do this part of the lesson because it's not really getting to the performance expectation, or it's something that we can skip because it's, again, it does not lead to the performance expectation or is not aligned to the performance expectation. So once you've summarized the performance expectations, you can go ahead and click on Progress Build 1. Those are the first set of lessons that you are going to do for energy conversions. And as you notice in the scope and sequence document that you've looked through, each of these lessons, each of the progress builds are going to be 2 weeks in our modified schedule. And so what you actually have to do now, which is kind of a different way of thinking and planning than we've done in the past, is actually read through all the lessons in Progress Build 1. And as you read through them, you then have to decide which of the lessons or which parts of the lessons you're going to do over the 2 weeks. And what might happen is that maybe you cut some parts of the lessons out that are not fully aligned to the performance expectation, or you modify some things because you think, okay, these don't really align to the performance expectations, or you change some of the instructional strategies in the lesson because, again, those activities or strategies will not really get kids to the skills and key ideas of the performance expectations. Again, your thought process as you think through which lessons to do are which ones really align to the key ideas and the skills that the performance expectations of this unit require of kids. So once you do that, you can then kind of map out, kind of jot down like the list of activities you're going to do each week. And then go on to teaching. One thing we are going to do in our weekly content meetings is that together we are going to be able to plan this. So if it seems like a lot right now, do not worry. However, before we meet on the 29th, please go ahead and do this process. Go ahead and read the performance expectations for the first units. This year, remember, we're doing the second grade units, in second grade, and then third and fourth grade will be doing the fourth grade units. So the first unit for second grade will be plant and animal relationships, and then the first unit for third and fourth grade will be energy conversions. So please go ahead, read the performance expectations and summarize them in your own words so you know the key ideas. And then go ahead and read through the lessons, the Progress Build 1 lessons for both plant and animal relationships and energy conversions. And as you read the lessons, start thinking about, okay, what parts of the lessons can I cut or modify? Which lessons can I really leave out? And think of what activities and parts of lessons we should keep based on what is closely aligned to the key ideas and skills of the performance expectations. So then when we meet on the 29th, everyone would have come ready, having read the performance expectations and having read through the lessons. And then we will kind of have a deeper discussion about it, come to a consensus about which lessons and activities we want to teach. And then part of what we'll do during summer PD is kind of teach the first lesson virtually and give each other feedback. So again, please go ahead and read the performance expectations, summarize them, read through the lessons in Progress Build 1, and start to think through, okay, which parts do we leave out? What do we modify based on what the performance expectations said? Again, the key thing that we want to do this year as we plan is say, okay, what activities align closely or best with the performance expectations, with what the key ideas and skills are in the performance expectations.